Welcome to the France 24 Observers. This show is based on our network of observers. They're ordinary people who tell us what's going on where they are and send in photos and videos to document it. We verify it all here in Paris and bring the best to you. Every day here on France 24, we give the number of those killed in Syria. The count is now at about 3,500 since the beginning of the repression. However, our observer Khaled explains that in his city of Homs, people will soon die not just from bullet wounds. With the city under siege by the security forces, residents are lacking many basic necessities, and winter is fast approaching.
If we compare today's situation to the situation before the crisis, it's clear that prices have increased enormously. This increase is due to the shortage of certain products. The city of Homs is practically under siege. Some neighborhoods are completely surrounded by the army. Many stores have closed because customers start fighting or because there's simply too much demand. Personally, I have plenty of money, yet I still can't find any fuel with which to heat my house, and winter's coming. The few people I know who have found any fuel only got their hands on tiny amounts, and there are electricity blackouts every day.
Our next observer took a photo of himself naked and posted it on the internet. But he's not crazy, and he's not an exhibitionist either. He did this to show his support for Ai Weiwei, an artist who's been openly critical of the Chinese government. Our observer tells us why he's bearing it all in the name of freedom.
Tax officials accuse Ai Weiwei of committing fraud on his taxes. They have asked him to pay 15 million yuan. Now he's also accused of posing in pornographic photographs. In one, he's naked but covering his genitals. In another, he is posing naked with 3 women. I saw a message on Sina Weibo, which is China's Twitter. A famous lawyer asked people to post pictures of themselves naked to show support for Ai Weiwei. I decided to participate. Ai Weiwei is a brave man who defends poor people like myself. He's a role model for me, and I don't want him to feel abandoned. I'm not scared because I'm just an ordinary man defending what's right, and nobody should be scared of defending what's right.
And now, a look at some of the images sent in this week by our observers. We begin with Richard, a business owner in Chad. Richard tells us he misses Colonel Gaddafi, because while the colonel may have been a dictator in Libya, he also invested a lot of money in Chad. Banks, luxury hotels, large-scale farms, Chadians have the former Libyan leader to thank for all these projects, and many more were still in the works when he died. Richard tells us that now, construction is at a standstill. He's hoping the new Libyan government will quickly resume economic cooperation with Chad. Next up, Syria, with Karim, the editor-in-chief of a newspaper called Hurriyat, or Freedoms in Arabic. It looks like a regular newspaper. It's got local and international news, editorials, and cartoons, but it's delivered in a very unusual manner. That's because it's an underground newspaper written by activists fighting against the Syrian regime. It's distributed door to door. The activists drop off the paper, ring the doorbell, and quickly run away to avoid being seen. Our observer says he has no doubt that if these young Syrians get arrested distributing their newspapers, they'll get killed. Now, on to Saudi Arabia, with our observer Mohammed Al-Saidi. Mohammed tells us that in his country, there's a very dangerous new job, operating speed radars. Saudi Arabians like to drive fast, and some are very angry that speed radars have forced them to slow down. One solution they found is to tamper with the speed radars themselves, but some also attack those who operate them. This car you see belonged to a speed radar controller. A man shot the car using a rifle, and it burst into flames. This case of extreme road rage had tragic consequences. The driver died in the fire. That's it for this week, but you can find more stories from our observers online. Check out our website for their latest reports, our Facebook and Twitter pages, and our iPhone app. See you next time.